Hello everyone, you are very welcome to this evening's session on Innovation and Enterprise Development at Tangent, Trinity's Ideas Workspace, more specifically our Postgraduate Certificate on the topic, which is a Springboard funded Level 9 certificate. So this means that eligible applicants who are in employment pay just 10% fees, and eligible unemployed applicants can study for free. So a really interesting opportunity to study both in Dublin and Kildare. This time around, we have a Kildare option, which is our regional option. And we're also accepting applications from Wicklow and Meath for that Kildare intake. It is a blended course, which means some of the teaching will be in person, which is such a welcome addition this time around after the past 2 years. And you'll be invited into Trinity, into Tangent, our space here where we're broadcasting from tonight, or Merit's Think Space in Kildare, which is even newer than us. You can still smell the wet paint, but it's a beautiful space in Naas in County Kildare. And there are also online classes, so there's a nice blend to suit our busy adult learners. So we will just give it a few more minutes for people to join. And Chris, are you in Merits there this evening?
Not at the moment, Hazel, no.
No?
Just came from there.
Yeah, did you swim home?
No, thankfully not yet. It's not too bad here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to kick off the session first of all with the introduction. So Hazel Davis is my name. You might have heard from me during this recruitment campaign since you've expressed an interest in the Innovation and Enterprise Development Postgraduate Certificate. I'm responsible for marketing and events here at Tangent, and you're all very welcome. I will go around the room and let the panel introduce themselves here tonight before we kick off. So Jane, I might go to yourself.
Sure, Hazel. Hi guys, welcome to tonight's session. My name is Jane Flanagan and I'm the recruitment officer here at Tangent. And so your applications will be coming to me directly, and I've probably liaised with some of you and I hope to liaise with more of you as we continue with the application process. So yeah, good to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Jane. And next we'll move on to Lucy McKenna.
Hi. My name is Lucy McKenna and I am one of the lead contributors on the program. I've been running this program doing a lot of work on this program for the last couple of years, and again really looking forward to getting back in person this year, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a little while.
Brilliant, thanks Lucy. And Chris Fogarty, if you could introduce yourself.
Super, thanks Hazel, and hi everyone. My name is Chris Fogarty and I work on regional enterprise development, and this evening I'm here representing the local enterprise offices who are huge supporters of regional enterprise development and further education and training. And the supports which the LEOs, the local enterprise offices, provide go hand in hand with prestigious programs such as the Tangent program, which are all interested in partaking in. And just to say, we're delighted to have partnered with Tangent to deliver this program in the region, which makes it a little more accessible for people who are outside of Dublin. So anybody from across Kildare, Wicklow or Meath, great to see you here. And hopefully we will have some more applicants after this evening.
Wonderful, thank you for that, Chris. So we're going to move on to a session now, which will give you a flavour for what a class looks like. This will be delivered by Lucy, who, as she said, is heavily involved in this course. There will also be the opportunity to ask any questions you may have towards the end of the session, so if we could keep them then. And as always, if you have any course-specific questions or any questions around eligibility, fees, the timetable, etc., you can book a call back on our website, www.tc.ie/tangent, and you can also send an email to Jane and our student recruitment team at springboard@tcd.ie. In case you miss anything here tonight, I'll be circulating a recording of the session so that you can watch it back and listen in, just to make sure you're best positioned to be awarded a place on the course. So that's it from me for the moment. And Lucy, if you'd like to kick off.
Here we go. Can everyone see the slides? Yes. Okay, brilliant. Great. So hi everyone, and welcome to this session this evening. I'm going to talk a little bit about the module that I run as part of this program, and it's on creativity and innovation. As I said, I've been running this program for this particular module for a couple of years now, and it's always interesting and it's always fun. This program is fantastic because it is run by such a reputable university, but it really brings new creative ways into how it's actually done, how you actually learn. So what I want to do quickly is just to give you an overview of what this module might look like. But before we get into that, just a little bit about me. I got this photograph taken about 1.5 years ago in the middle of the pandemic. I had to get professional shots. So this is my attempt at a professional shot. And I thought there is never an instance where I am actually going to be able to use this picture. It turns out there is, and this instance is now. And the reason for that is this is how I'm feeling about getting back in the room with people. And we've had 2 years of, or over 2 years of online trainings, which, to be fair, has been fantastic. And we've learned really new ways of doing things. But we are now going for this module, or this particular module that we're going to be doing. We're going to be humaning again. We're going to be working in real life. And I, for the first time this week, come across the acronym IRL. This is something that people are actually using. I was not aware of it. So we will be back in real life for the most part for this first module. We may do 1 or 2 sessions online, but simply to use tools to learn how to do creativity and innovation online as well. So, but for the most part, we will be back in the spaces. So in Kildare and here, and I'm in Dublin, and I'm super excited about that. So just to let you know how I feel about it. I want to take you through now a sample of what this module will look like. We in Tangent, we live what we preach, so we adapt our modules based on feedback all the time. So this is an overview of what it will look like, but it will be subject to change. So I just want to flag that as well. So the module will be run over, I think it'll be over 8 weeks, but there might be a week in between, I think, for midterm, Jane. I might even go to you on that, but I think there is a break in the middle. So some of the stuff that you will be doing over this period of time is, so at the start, at the beginning of the session, we really will spend that first week getting to know each other and exploring concepts of what do we mean by creativity and innovation. And even at that early stage, we will start to form teams. This module is very much about working together, working as a team, working with people that come in from different perspectives, different backgrounds to you. So we often will try and form the teams fairly early in the journey. So it'll either be that first or second week. Second week then is really all about getting to know your team and starting to explore the project that you might work on. We will introduce you to design thinking, which is a tool for kind of approaching innovation, and you will practice using this tool together. So it's a very hands-on approach. We will give you the tool. We will run activities to allow you to practice using that tool. And then by kind of the third week, you will really start to get into the details of what you are going to explore in this program as a team. So it's all about, innovating and tackling challenges. So you will explore potentially sectors that you would like to tackle the challenge within, and you will start to identify people that you need to engage with and learn more about in order to do that. So all innovations start with a problem, and that's where we will start. We will start with the problems, the challenges that you're seeing out in the world, in the industry that you may be in, and that's how we approach innovation. The next week, then, you will do a lot of collecting the data that you have researched. So you will be going out there. We will be asking you to do very hands-on work, going out and talking to people, interviewing people, doing some research, doing surveys. And then at this halfway point, you will be collecting together all that detail that you have done research on, and start looking for insights. What are you learning from this information? Then you will actually say, okay, this is what we know. Let's come up with some ideas to start tackling some of the problems and challenges that we are seeing. This is where the innovation and the ideas really come into play. You will come up with as many ideas as possible, and you will start then to work on prototypes for what your idea might be. The second last session will be very much about collecting together any feedback that you may have got on prototypes that you might have built, and actually beginning to prepare as a team for the pitch that you will deliver, which will be in your final week. And we'll do a little bit on, how do you, deliver a good pitch? How do you put together, share the journey that you have gone through over this 8-week period? How do you present that in a way that really kind of makes it compelling and really lands the idea that you have come up with? This approach, we will get you to work on a very particular project as part of the program. But the tools that you will learn on this journey will be applicable no matter where you are in your life or your working life. So some of the things that, I forget about the last thing. On the last day, you will deliver a final presentation. So here you will present to a panel of judges, and then you will be expected to deliver a report as a group, and then there will be an individual reflection as well. And I'll give you kind of a very simple overview of the kind of assessments that might be expected throughout the program. There are no tests, but there are assessments that you'll be asked to deliver on. So some of the kind of the activities and tools and different things that we will do with you, we will be getting you to work with your team to create potentially team charters, even things like logos and team names. We will be getting you to potentially identify values, both that you hold as an individual, but also as a team. What might your values be that you come together to work with over the few weeks? You will build personas to really understand stakeholders who you might be building a solution for. You will be creating stakeholder maps, doing things like journey mapping. And please do not worry if these words are not familiar with you. These are all things that we will take you through on the course. We will really ask you to understand the root cause of problems, because that's where innovation can really happen, looking for the real needs. We will be asking you to do things like interviewing, shadowing, a term called body storming, which is trying to experience the challenge or problem that might be experienced by users or stakeholders that you're working with. We will do a lot of ideation and brainstorming to come up with ideas, and we will be asking you to build a prototype, to put something out there that you can bring to people to test. And then ultimately, in the final session, we will be asking you to pitch your idea, to pitch what you've come up with, but also to tell the story of the journey you've been through as a team. So these are just some of the things that we will do. It is a very hands-on approach, okay? You will not be listening to me or one of our other facilitators for 3 hours, 2 days a week, just talking at you. I absolutely don't want that, and I can assure you that you do not want that. That is not how this program is run. It is very experiential. Oh yeah, I forgot about the last thing. You will be having difficult conversations because you're going to be working as a team a lot of the time, but this is what's going to prepare you for having really important and difficult conversations out in the real world and the work that you're doing day to day. So as I said, we are very experiential in our approach to the way that we facilitate this session. Innovation really is something that you need to practice, that you need to practice the tools that you're going to be using. So we design games, exercises, experiments for these sessions so that we can achieve this. We use evidence-based research to develop our content. So we're going to encourage you to critique this, to question the content. We're going to put research in front of you, and happy for you to push back and to you know, it is about the debate and about the you know, how can we do things differently. So this is really important for us in the way that we deliver. And the last thing is that it is reflective. One of the assignments or the assessments that you will do will be an actual personal reflection, but real change happens when we have the opportunity to reflect on our learnings. And we try to weave that throughout the module that we do on creativity and innovation. So this is our approach. It's very hands-on, it's research-based, and we will be asking you to reflect on your learnings as you go through. So just on the assessment piece, I haven't done this in detail, the detail would come closer to the time, but generally there are 4 assessments throughout. An individual assessment, which would usually be due around the 3rd week, and that's an individual assessment. And it will often be based on some of the work that empathy work that we will have asked you to have gone out. So maybe it might be, you know, go and interview 3 people about a particular challenge that you might be looking to explore more about, and collect the data together and create a persona, and that would be the assessment. Then the next big assessment will be the pitch at the end of this module. So you will have to pitch as a team. Everyone will be required to actually contribute to that. And then you will have to write up a report on your journey. And the final piece then is an individual learning reflection that you will do after you have gone through the full module. So this is, as I said, this is, we adapt and change the content and some of the assessment work that we do each time we do this, but this generally stays consistent. So this would be what would be expected in terms of assessment. So I kind of wanted to put this together in terms of, like, you know, this is for you if, and this is the way that I will see it, if you want to bring effective problem solving techniques into your working life, but also your life, right? When you turn on the light of identifying problems, that switch, you will start to see challenges everywhere and in a different way. So also, if you want to challenge yourself to work collaboratively with people from different backgrounds and different perspectives, teamwork is a massive piece of this course. If you want an alternative way of looking at the world, and again, as I say, once the light switch of kind of starting to identify challenges and what the root causes are, once that's been turned on, it can be hard to turn it off, right? And it's a good thing, but it is an alternative way of looking at the world. If you want to help change the systems that are no longer working for us, design thinking and innovation helps us really tackle those complex issues that we are facing. It's a really useful tool for that. And if you want to have some fun while learning, myself and the other facilitators that run this course really want to create an engaging experience, whether that be online or offline, for anyone who attends it. And we really do try to inject that element of fun and enjoyment into it, because that's where learning truly happens. That's where it really lands. In terms of you know, expectation in terms of time commitment, you'll be here or in Kildare 2 evenings a week. There will be an expectation that between the sessions you will do some work. So we will be given kind of self-study pieces for you to do, some pre-work. It can be really, you know, it can be videos, it might be just short papers to have a read of, or it might be to actually go out and do something. So we will certainly be giving you things that you will be expected to do between 1 week and the next. You may, in some cases, meet with your team online, depending at what stage you are on the journey. But there will be a certain expectation that there will be work done in between each of the sessions that we would be running. I think that is it from me. I know that I've gone through a lot of information very quickly. But it is a fantastic course. It is one that allows you to really to get your hands dirty, for lack of a better word. If you have an idea, if you have something that you want to do, you will be able to take the tools that we are giving you in this course and actually apply it in what you're doing. If you're working in a company, it will allow you to bring these tools and techniques into your organization and see things in a different light. And in terms of the assessments as well, all of the activities and work that we do within the class will often contribute to those assessments. So it won't be like we'll do something in the session and then you have to go and do something completely different for your assessment. We will be really building you up so that you will have all the bones of that assessment ready, and once you've stepped out of the classroom, whether that be in person or virtual classrooms. So you will be, that will be built up fairly easily over time. So with that, I'm gonna hand back. I think Hazel, I don't know if I'm going back to you or Jane. Will I hand over to yourself? I'll just stop sharing here.
Thanks so much for that, Lucy. And yes, we're going to move on now to our student recruitment officer, Jane, whom some of you have already been in touch.
I'm not hearing you.
Can everyone hear me okay? Okay.
Yes, Hazel.
Good stuff. Yes, so some of you may have already been in touch with Jane, who does stellar work in reviewing everyone's applications and advising them on what they're missing or what they need to get across the line and to be considered for a place on this course. Places are limited. The course closes on the 8th of November, which is fast approaching, and there is a lot of documentation required. So if you are considering applying, or potentially you've started your application already, but you're missing some documents, do try and submit it as soon as possible. It means that you'll know sooner rather than later whether you've received a place, and it will also give you that bit of extra time to gather all of the documents you need, such as transcripts and stuff like that. But Jane, I think you're best placed to advise on those.
Sure
topics.
thing. Thanks for that, Hazel. I'm going to share with you guys a couple of slides, nothing too major, but bear with me a second till I do that. Okay. So yes, thank you guys. I'm really just going to talk a little bit about the practical side. So the fun side with Lucy is over for now, but come on the course and you'll really get a proper taste for what goes on in Tangent when we're thinking creatively and collaborating together. But this is more around the practical nature of how to apply. So as Hazel said there, it is closing on the 8th of November. And it's starting on the 16th of January next year, and it will run for about 20 weeks. It's on Monday and Tuesday evenings between 6 and 9. So what does the course offer? Well, in a nutshell, it offers a level 9 that's on the National Framework of Qualifications and issued from Trinity College in Dublin. And you'll really get to develop your creative potential, your critical and lateral thinking skills, your team working, your leadership and presentation and communication skills. You look at opportunity recognition, business planning, funding, intellectual property, and you'll also have access to a range of entrepreneurship development supports within Trinity itself. So the program, as I said, it runs for about 20 weeks. There's a 2-week break in between module 1 and 2, and there's a 1-week break in between modules 2 and 3. And then there's a couple of other holiday dates and stuff that are off within that as well, to give you guys a chance to work on your assignments. As I said, delivered on Monday and Tuesday evenings. So it is doable alongside a full-time job, you know, standard kind of 9-to-5 job. The modules are innovation and creativity with Lucy and the other facilitators. And that's the one that's in person that Lucy just took you through. And then after that, we have opportunity generation, recognition and communication, which is taking place online, followed by the third module, enterprise development, also online. So again, Lucy talked about this. It's very much adult-based learning. It's hands-on, it's experiential with workshops, masterclasses, group projects and presentations. You'll learn you'll work in teams on industry projects hosted by private or public enterprise partners. You'll learn how to apply creative and innovative problem-solving techniques in practice. You'll begin to understand the iterative process, learning by failing to fail forward, what that means and how to benefit from that. Again, the peer-to-peer learning, you're going to be working with people from a diverse range of industries and backgrounds and ages and everything else. So there's a lot of great peer-to-peer learning done on all of our postgraduate courses. And again, just the no exams. We do have assessments per module, but no actual exams as such. So what do you need to apply? Okay, so there's only 5 documents needed to apply, and they must be uploaded to the Springboard website. Springboard Plus are funding the course, so applications come through there. And all you need to apply is a level 8 honours degree, so evidence that you have that level 8, whether it's a parchment or a transcript. If you do have a qualification under a level 8, anything below that, you can still apply, and just let us know what qualifications you have, upload your evidence of your highest qualification, and we assess those as RPL candidates, which is recognition of prior learning. Beyond the transcript, you need a CV, an expression of interest, so detailing why you want to do the course, how your experience ties in with the course. 2 written references. It's important, I should have put in the word written there because it needs to be actually written as opposed to contact numbers or names. It can be 1 academic and 1 professional, or if the academic is too long ago or you can't obtain it for any reason, 2 professional is just fine. So they're the 5 documents you need. And then based on those, we can assess your application, the selection committee within Tangent, and we will issue you with a provisional offer or not. You will hear from us fairly quickly. Some applications take a little longer than others, but you will hear from us fairly quickly once those 5 documents are uploaded. Again, I really urge you to do that sooner rather than later, because it gives me and some of my colleagues time to assess and to reach out if there's anything that you need tweaking or an extra document or something that could improve your application. But the closer it is to the closing date, the less opportunity we will have to get back to you. So who's eligible for the course? The eligibility is a big part of being the Springboard funding. You must prove that you're eligible because the course costs a lot of money and it's being funded by Springboard Plus. So it's all available on the Springboard website. So if you just go to springboardcourses.ie/eligibility, it details it very clearly. But on a high level, if you're a full-time resident in Ireland, great. You'd need your own PPS number. You'd need to meet the nationality or visa requirement. So we can talk about that in more detail if you want to get on to me, or you can check on the Springboard website. You need to have been a resident in the EU, so anywhere in the EU for at least 3 of the last 5 years. You need to either be unemployed and receiving an eligible Department of Social Protection payment. If you're self-employed or in employment, then you can still apply, and there's a 10% fee, which is only €300. That's applicable for anybody in any kind of employment. And then if you are a returner, so you're not on any kind of eligible Department of Social Welfare payment, but you have been out of work for at least 9 of the last 12 months. And again, there's a certificate. None of these documents are required for you to apply and be assessed. But if you are given a provisional offer, we will then reach out to you and we'll say, you just need this, this, and this, and this document. So not to worry about that for now. We'll be back in touch if you're issued with a provisional offer on the course. So things briefly to consider before applying is, are you eligible? Again, there's the link to the Springboard website, and it really goes into a lot of detail on that. But I covered the high points for you there. The schedule, look at the timetable. There is a draft timetable on our website. That's tcd.ie/tangent. And in the education section, in the postgraduate section of that, you'll find the draft timetable for the course. But as discussed, it's on Mondays and Tuesdays from 6 to 9. There's an 80% minimum attendance requirement in order to even pass a level 9. However, because it's very practical and hands-on, we do encourage students to try to be there 100% of the time. Then there's the in-person attendance. So you will physically be with us in Tangent on our floor if you're applying to the Dublin intake, or if you're applying to the Kildare intake, you'll be in that fabulous new space in NACE, the Merits Innovation Think Space. And then finally, this is a postgraduate level academic program at level 9 with Trinity. So be prepared for report writing, presentations, teamwork, a lot of contribution, and there's 4 assignments per module and 3 modules. So with that, that's the end of my few short slides. Happy to take some questions, and some of you may want to approach me directly, and you can do that. My number is there, and the email address is springboard@tcd.ie. So do get in touch if it's anything more on a specific level, like this is my situation, would I be eligible if I were this? Come to me individually perhaps with those kinds of queries. But if there is anything that I can answer, I'll take a look at the questions coming in now. And thank you for that, Hazel. So there's some tips and hints there on how to apply. And if we look at the 2 questions here as well, as a rule of thumb, how many hours a week do you think we should plan or put aside for the coursework outside of the 6 hours? Well, I might divert to you, Lucy, for this one, because really it's how long is a piece of string. But yeah. I know it's really what you put in is what you get out.
I would agree with that, Jen. And I mean, I can speak from the first module, I guess. It will differ from week to week. I would not expect, in terms of content that we give you, it should be digestible within an hour, right? But if you're working in a team that wants to do a bit more extra work, it might be a bit of extra time, okay? So in terms of actual content that we're given, it won't be that much more, but it is, as you say, Jane, what you get in is what you get out, right? So you might want to do a bit of extra study. You might want to meet with your team separately and explore a few different things. So it really is what you want to put into. But yeah, in terms of like actual additional reading, watching stuff, there will be no more than an hour, but there could be more.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Lucy. And Mike, how likely are the draft days to change? Unlikely. So they might need a little bit of tweaking here or there, but possibly not at all. They're very unlikely to change. They will remain on those Mondays and Tuesday evenings. Expectations from the personal statement. So really the personal statement is your platform for speaking to why you want to do the course and what you hope to do after the course, what you hope to achieve by doing the course. So if you think of those 2 questions when writing the statement, it doesn't need to be that long. We say approximately 500 words, which is about half an A4 page. Just speaking about, how your interest, why you're interested in the course, maybe how your experience aligns with the course content and what you hope to achieve by completing the course. That's essentially what we're looking for there. How many people will be on the course? Well, there approximately, again, we don't know if there'll be an exact split between Kildare and Dublin, but approximately 32 on each course. And I think is that, what are the typical contents of a written reference?
Just to jump in there. So these will be, common questions. And I think, Jane, from chatting to you, you would say that it's actually one of the areas people traditionally fall down on when they apply. They underestimate the importance of their personal statement and giving it some thought and time. And to that end, we've actually made a Springboard Hints and Tips webpage on our postgraduate education section, where we have some helpful videos starring Jane, where she details things like, what does a good personal statement look like? What do we consider a reference? What are your suitable, the relevant documentation to prove eligibility, etc. So just if anyone is bamboozled by the volume of information here tonight, let that page lead you. But Jane, we have you now, so you might tell us what a good personal statement looks like.
Yeah, so as I say, just really speak to how your experience aligns with the course content and why you want to do the course and what you hope to get out of completing the course successfully. And then the contents of a written reference. Well, really the referee should say how they know you, and why would they recommend you for a place on the course. If they can speak to your suitability for the program, that's what we're looking for. And that concludes the questions for now. As I say, do send them in to springboard@tcd.ie. I'll quit sharing now. Just bear with me a second.
Excellent. Thank you, Jane. And just while you're getting that, some of you may have attended our previous events, including an alumni panel discussion, which many found really helpful in terms of animating what the student experience is really like. And that is available to view on Tangent's YouTube channel and on our Innovation and Enterprise Development webpage. So I would invite you to check that out if you can. On that session, we're joined by 4 recent graduates of the programme, 2 of which are founders. One is a pivoter, so an entrepreneur who was already holding a position and simply wanted to change the nature of his work. And then we're also joined by a returner, so someone who was out of work, had actually lost their job on the eve of the pandemic, and has since gone on to work in Dell in product development. So a really, really nice mix, but they speak quite frankly about the level of work required for this course, but also just how much they've gotten from it since, and how they're applying what they've learned in their careers. So I invite you to check that out. Please share the link for the tips on the personal statement. Yeah, so if you check out the chat, you will see there is, I have shared to everyone some hints and tips page. So that's tcd.ie/tangent/education/postgraduate/springboard.php. And that is why I've shared the link and not said it out loud till now. So have we some final questions coming in? Would you recommend it as a gateway to an MBA or similar? Actually, to just answer that question, just today I learned of 2 recent students of ours. They actually undertook a course that we had for people returning to work following a career break, and they've since gone on to MBAs in Trinity. And that's I found out about those through a colleague today. Will there be an intake in September 23? Good question. And I think, Jane, this is something we were only discussing recently.
Yeah, so it's never absolutely guaranteed because we rely on Springboard funding, year on year, but it is most likely to take place again in the 23-24 academic year, and probably around the same time. So that would mean we're starting the 23-24 academic year in January 2024. So if you can't wait that long, just apply now.
There's also just, I think this is important to mention, we're the only area in Trinity who offer regional education programs. So no other school or department does that, and gives people the opportunity to learn locally and receive that qualification from Trinity. And we are the leading university for producing student entrepreneurs. So there is a pedigree there. And our partnership with Merits is certainly a first for us, and we typically alternate where and rotate where we offer our regional education offerings. So it's likely we won't deliver it again in Kildare, Wicklow, Meath, in that targeting that region, the commuter belt of Dublin. And obviously we know that it's ripe for upskilling, and we just want to kind of meet that talent where they are and give them something that's practically based in their region. Because as I said at the top of the call, we're looking for adult learners who are in the main juggling other priorities, and with this course you have the luxury of studying at home but also engaging with your peers in a classroom setting. And I think, Lucy, there's a lot to be said for that, and we've missed out big time on that face-to-face learning experience. So we're delighted to actually reintroduce that this year.
I'm really excited about that. So yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so that concludes this evening's session, and thank you so much for joining, everyone. I'd like to thank Chris Fogarty from representing Merits in Kildare, Lucy McKenna, course contributor and an official learning partner here with ourselves at Tangent, Jane Flanagan, our student recruitment officer. And just from me, thank you everyone for joining. And as I said in the chat, I'll be in touch with a recording of this session that you can play back, and I hope to see you all in the future. Bye.
Thanks everyone for joining, and thanks Hazel.
Just answered the last question there. Thanks, guys.